This is a terrible way to start. This is terrible. I just had something prepared for the first segment of the grid, and I realized I didn't give it to Biggie. It's completely my fault. I can't even blame him, and we're not going to have him. We're not going to have what we need.
Good morning.
This is awful. This is awful.
Can we just go home?
This is awful. No, what? No. We should. We should. This is
Just
how
fold?
bad. This is how bad this is.
A man I know you admire once said, sometimes you got to know when to hold them,
Yeah. Well, yeah.
and sometimes you got to know when to fold
Fold them. Maybe today we should just fold them. You know, maybe right here, just I fold.
Just push your cards
I give
in.
up. Like you
Live to see another day.
You know, you're dealt a hand and you're just like, fold. You know, you see it and you're like, do you want any cards? No. I fold. Here's what it is. There is a legendary news radio station, WCBS 880 New York City, signed off yesterday for the last time. That was it. A legendary heritage news station that had been on for 57 years. And it signed off at midnight and now becomes ESPN Radio in New York. So I listened to the final sign-off, and it was done absolutely brilliantly by Wayne Cabot. And Wayne Cabot told this story of how in 1978, his father took him to that radio station for a tour of the station. And it sparked within him this desire to be on the radio. And now, all these years later, what is that, 46 years later, he is the last voice that was ever heard on CBS 880 AM radio.
That is cool.
So I turned to Biggie 30 seconds before this program began, and I said...
Accusatory.
Yeah. I mean, I don't think said is the right word. You yelled.
Yeah. I yelled at him because I've listened to the final sign-off, and I said to Biggie, where's that radio sign-off? And Biggie said, I don't know what you're talking about.
What radio sign-off?
I have no clue what you speak of.
And I said, did I not send you the radio sign-off? And Biggie said, no, I don't know what that is.
At this point, I feel incumbent upon myself to jump in and say, this is karmic comeuppance to you, Chris Kelly.
He's right. Here's what you know.
You,
He's right. He's right.
You were the one.
I know.
You're responsible for pooping all over the A block here.
You're right. He's right. Here's why. The sign-off was 3 minutes long, and it included Wayne Cabot, a legendary broadcaster, telling that story that I just told you about going to the radio station in New York City in 1978. And he said, I want to thank parents everywhere for giving kids that moment. And you never know when it's going to change a child's life, like when he brought me to this radio station 46 years ago. I edited every bit of that out.
Yeah. All you had him say was, WCBS 880 AM, signing off.
Yeah, so you truly just enjoyed the sign-off.
I did.
Not the nice part of the speech.
Not the human part.
Right.
Yeah.
I said to Christian, I gutted that whole thing with that story. And
There's like 13 minutes of it online. The last 13 or 14 minutes are online.
Oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
He names
everybody.
all the people that are on the current staff.
Yes.
CBS reporters, legends who go back 100 years.
Yes.
I mean, this station's been on the air 100 years.
It was brilliant. It's absolutely brilliant. I've rehearsed my own sign-off many times in my head, you know, and I'm not thanking
These
anybody.
are the people who wronged me.
Yeah.
The following people I still carry a grudge against.
And let's add this little asterisk. If you get a sign-off.
If I get a chance.
Most don't.
Many don't.
Most don't.
I mean, you know, most of us are told.
We're called into an office on a Friday.
Are called into an office.
Dave's not here.
And
You probably
This was your last day.
Yeah. You probably noticed the website. What?
What?
You're not on it. What?
right. So, yes, I gutted it. I got it down to 35 seconds.
You're going to condense 100 years of radio greatness.
Yes, to 35 seconds because I edit, I get rid of. And so when I turned to Biggie, I was going to lead with it. I was going to lead with, a great radio station has signed off in New York City. And I say to Biggie, and again, it was accusatory, what have you done with that sign off? Where's Wayne Cabot? And Biggie said, I don't know who Wayne Cabot is. Who's Wayne Cabot? And I said, you idiot. Where's Wayne Cabot? And you said, I don't even know. I'm sitting here searching for it. It's not Biggie's fault. That is my fault. We're going to have Wayne Cabot for you tomorrow morning at this time.
Tomorrow.
It's kind of lost its luster.
God, I hate it when I do something like that, especially when it's my fault.
Your routine has changed. You walked in through a different office door this morning.
I did.
You're going downstairs more often now.
I had to start the cameras. On this program. Sometimes you get spread thin.
Dave's not here.
And the person that was
things fall through the cracks.
Things fall through the cracks. That happens. That's right.
I forget you can walk through a separate office door now.
Should have seen it today. If you missed this saga last week, we had an old couch that was sagging in the middle and peeling. It was terrible. And so for years, people have been saying, why don't you get rid of that couch? It was in our office. Well, Chris Demm and I have an office where there are two doors that come in, but the couch was in front of one door.
I think initially it was two small offices.
It was.
And they knocked the wall down when we moved in.
And they said they were going to wall up the one door, but then they were like, no point. Just have two doors. So the sofa was in front of one of the doors. Well, now that it's been moved out, BB Shea and I moved it out to Ricky's truck.
So he could take it to the dump.
And he did. He took it. Ricky likes to go to the dump. There's a big thing here. If anything needs to be removed, a pile of garbage, whatever it is, Ricky says, I'll bring my truck, because he likes to
He'll raise his hand.
He likes to drive up the hill of the dump.
Like Mount Crumpet and dump it.
Yeah.
Like the Grinch.
He loves that.
I told you, I'm with him. I've enjoyed it myself.
Yeah, you said.
Yeah, the dump can be a fun place.
So now that door that was unaccessible for 20 years, I came in through it today and turned to Chris Demm from the other side. Woo, look who's here.
Yeah.
70s sitcom.
I said, everything's changed. New parking space, new door to come in through, and I'm turning on those cameras in the morning. Look what falls through the cracks. Wayne Cabot. That's who fell through the cracks.
The legends.
After I had gutted, I got 13 minutes of teary-eyed sign-off down to 35 seconds.
He name-checked Charles Osgood, Walter Cronkite.
Yeah, he had an Edward R. Murrow quote. He quoted Edward R. Murrow. I said, gut it, get it, rid of it. I don't want it. I want him saying WCBS 880, and that was it. And then I forgot to get it to our point man, our pivot man, Biggie, who would have had it in there. And so, first moments, first segment, grid, A block, Garbage. Complete garbage. I bet they never had that happen on 880 WCBS.
No, I bet they didn't.
Never had that happen.
I think the only thing more insulting is probably what was happening as he was doing his sign-off, which was some guy back there going, da-na-na, da-na-na.
Yeah.
Caitlin Clark highlights coming.
They were ready. They flipped it 2 minutes, 30 seconds later, it was ESPN radio. That's how this business works.
Wrap it up, buddy.
Yep.
CD Lambda's got a new contract. Move, old man.
That's right. They just paid him $100 million. Get rid of it.
This station has been here 100 years, so let's go. We got fever highlights to run.
That's how this business works. We'll have Wayne Cabot's emotional sign-off 24 hours from now. Because there's no we can't. There's nothing I can do. I want to do it. I want to get it to you. You'll hear it tomorrow. You'll have to tune in tomorrow at this time.
Was that one of the CBS 880?
Yes.
Was that one of those stations you could hear across the country? I can't recall.
May have been.
Listening to that one, because, like Wayne Cabot, I was bitten by the radio bug early as a child. My dad loved listening to the radio, and at night, I didn't understand it, but he could listen to radio stations. His favorite was WBZ Boston.
Because it was across the country.
At night, the AM stations would would go for hundreds and not thousands of miles. That's how a lot of kids heard rock and roll for the first time.
It's true.
My dad would listen to Larry Glick on WBZ, and, and look at me.
Yeah. I snuck a transistor radio in bed, and when I was 10, and put the little earpiece in my ear to listen to those AM stations across.
I'd hang it over the corner of the bed.
It's magical.
My little transistor.
You get the little crackling sound. It's magical when you heard it. We had it from Wayne Cabot.
Yeah, a gutted Wayne Cabot.
A gutted Wayne Cabot will appear on our air 24 hours. Marker, set a reminder on your phone.
Why don't we just get Wayne Cabot?
We could call.
His days are free.
We could call Wayne Cabot and get him on our air, but why would he reduce himself?
No, and now he's just been slighted so many ways.
Man, just crushed
Let's
him.
check in on Aaron Judge if he went deep again. I'm not done.
Aaron Judge, what does he hit now? 50 home runs? He's going to get like 60.
Yeah.
He's going to get 65 home runs this year. This is when Barry Bonds and Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa were hitting all those home runs in the late 90s, early 2000s. And people were arguing, then it came out steroids. Really, all three of them were tainted with that steroid
era
hovering over them. And I, at the time, was like, I thought, how big a deal is this? Well, now this is why it's a big deal. If the record wasn't 73, which was hit by Barry Bonds, we'd all be watching Aaron Judge to see if he could get the record. He got it. He got 62 last year. And it would be so much a bigger deal. But because of that steroid, it's like, what is the record? And nobody pays much attention to it now. I mean, you see Aaron Judge, but it's not what it should be, and that's unfortunate. That's what the steroid thing did to baseball. Because 100%. now the record's 73, but is it? It's like it's got an asterisk by it.
And he's chasing Triple Crown too.
He's unbelievable.
Yeah.
He is and he's playing in the biggest city, the biggest team. He had a terrible April, and I thought, well, that's he's not going to have a good season. And he's just unbelievable. That guy is a very, very good, and he's my favorite Yankee. I mean, he's my favorite Yankee. Probably
over Jeet.
Yeah, over Jeet. I never got into Jeter that much.
I thought you liked him.
He's all right. I mean, I liked him okay. I hated A-Rod. I mean, I hate most Yankees. But how do you not like Aaron Judge? That guy just he's unbelievable. And he's just hitting these bombs. And it's unfortunate that the Bonds, McGuire, Sosa thing is so tainted by steroids, because the record should be in the low 60s, and Judge should be going for it again.
It's anytime you hear somebody talk about it too, they say it's like they get to those names, they get to Sosa, McGuire, and Bonds, and the voice drops, and they're like, if you count that,
exactly.
It's such a weird conversation.
It's too bad. It's because it's not cut and dry, and it should be, and Judge should be trying to break his own record, his own mark, again this year, which would be a really big thing. I wasn't even going to talk about that. We had this whole thing.
Tune into 880 ESPN Radio New York.
Dun, 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 dun.
They'll have it for